Hey guys, Stable here. Today we got a technique for you, torpedo dodging technique. This can almost make you immune to torpedoes if you understand how to, in certain situations at least. If you understand how it works, we're going to lay that out here as the video progresses. To start off with, we got a game in the Alaska here. We'll talk about the Alaska for a little bit, and then when the time is right, I'll lay it all out for you guys. And we'll throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into the Udachi Fiesta that's been going on out there. They think they're going to torp everyone. Well, we're going to make it a little bit harder for them today. Anyway, my plan here on this map, I'm kind of spawned towards the eastern half of the map, so I do kind of want to cover over there. What I'm going to do, sail basically at this island right here, bounce off of it, and that'll allow me to reverse behind that. That's the plan, but I'm going to keep an eye on these cruisers that spawn over here to my east, and they're going to go island hopping, which I don't blame them for, but my position and their positions are really only going to work if we have someone spotting for us. And if we don't have anyone spotting for us, that's an issue. So often I get the question asked of me, what should I do if my team doesn't do this or my team does do this? You know, whatever. If they do the opposite of what you think they should be doing, the answer always is you got to accept it. You got to move on and look for other things to be doing. It's very hard to accept this mentality because usually you're thinking, okay, I know what I should be doing here. This is how we should be playing this map. These guys aren't supporting me in doing that. It's going to cause a loss. You know, it builds up in your mind, rather quickly that it's going to be catastrophic. But rather than me getting mad at these guys, spamming them on the map, saying, let's go, spot, whatever. I could get on the mic, start yelling at them. You can do whatever you want, but rather than do that, I'm just going to accept the fact that nobody's going to be spotting anything to the north of us here. And we can see there's a guy in C. They got one of their destroyers capturing C, at least one destroyer. And then they have 4 other ships. So they got 5 out of 8 ships in this game over there. And that's looking like it's probably going to be the main fight. Usually on this map, the area around C is kind of the main event. That's why I often like to play the eastern side first if I spawn over there, because you can clear out that side, then you can move forward a little bit, then get flanking shots into the enemy and wrap it up pretty quickly. But it's just not going to work out over there, so we have to accept that, move on. So in this match, the enemy team has 2 Alaskas. We got an Alaska, my ship, and the other legendary on our team is a Grosser Krufers. Now, this Alaska here, as we're moving forward, trying to support this side, these guys are closing in. I thought they might be in a division, but they're just 2 Alaskas playing near each other. But take a look at the angling on him. He's at least a 45-degree angle at us, and we're really not having any problems there. Out of all those shells that hit, we only had 1 ricochet. This time, it looks like the angle's steeping up even a little bit more, and we're not going to get any bounces on this one. It's all pens and over pens. So this Alaska AP, you got the enhanced American Heavy AP penetration angles, which means the ship that you're shooting at can be more angled towards you or away from you than you would normally be able to get those AP shells into. Like, let's say you're shooting a German cruiser, like if you're playing the Hipper, and those ships are at a 45-degree angle like that, you're not going to get any penetrations. It's going to be all bounces. So that's the main advantage for the Americans in terms of their guns, is the enhanced penetration. The AP hits really hard. The HE is not bad. If you're getting low damage or you're getting a lot of bounces or whatever and looking at your results after each salvo, if the AP is not working in a given situation, go ahead and switch to the HE, because it is still an effective shell, but the AP is just so good on this, you're going to want to use it as much as possible. Now moving up over here, we're going to keep pinging this Kagero to get back. The Kagero is on the other side of an island from 2 radar cruisers, and he's got another Baltimore who should have shots on him. So this is a very dangerous thing to do. If you're a destroyer, you need to kind of know the ranges of all the radars that you're going to face in your given ship. So if you're playing a tier 7 destroyer, you got to know all the tier 7 radar ranges, the tier 6 radar ranges, and now the legendary tier radar ranges. If you're in that, you're in extreme danger. Anytime they pop the radar, you're going to get spotted for the full duration. Hopefully, from their team's perspective, everyone on that team that has a shot at you is going to pile on and get rid of you very quickly. So do not get that close to them. I see a lot of destroyers rushing cruisers in general. Destroyers need to stay the heck away from cruisers. Most of them have sonar, a lot of them have radar, a lot of them have guns that, they can reload quick enough to kill you in 2 or 3 salvos, and some of them, have very quick reload cycles. So destroyers, I don't know why I keep seeing them rushing cruisers all the time, but that's a no-go. Just don't do it. You shouldn't even really get in the habit of rushing battleships too often. Once in a while, it'll be advantageous, but that's not something we're going to go into here. Notice there that Alaska shoots, and it was around the island, and that's kind of one of the keys of the ship. We'll talk more about when we do a full review, is the center of the ship is where you're basically spotting from, or you're being able to be detected from. That's where the camera is aligned with, a lot of the perspective is centered around the center of the ship. But those front 2 guns, you can poke them forward around islands, shoot the guns, and get a lot of success that way. You'll notice there we knocked out his front turret, and then we're going to try and deal with this Udachi, trying to decide if I can get the guns around. He disappears though, so that's not going to happen. We're going to have to try and dodge those. I'm really worried about this Alaska to my right, pushing forward, hit me in the side, that would kill me. But again, here we're trying to shoot these guns, and I think this is going to be a hallmark of legendary tier cruiser v cruiser battles. Kind of nose in. I'm over angled right now. I'm trying to get the back gun on him greedily to finish him off quickly, / hopefully dodge these torps. We are going to eat 1, which is a major problem, but I wanted to get rid of this guy. But knocking out those guns, it's something you should practice. It's once we get more and more into this high level cruiser play, it's going to be an important play to make. So I would go ahead and practice that. Alaska comes around finally, or he's in the process of it. I'm kind of greedy here, making a big mistake. I'm keeping all 3 guns on him. I want to issue 1 super salvo and kill him in 1 shot before he can damage me. Poor decision making there though. We basically get 0 damage on him, just shy of 1,000 actually. He gets a much bigger trade on us, so big mistake there. And we're in the middle of our damage con, so we've got a fire now that we can't put out. We correct our angle, point directly at him, and we'll resume shooting the guns. And when we're aiming at the guns, of course, we're hitting some shells over it to get some damage on them. So we're reducing his DPM by 2 manners. Number 1, by angling at him, that'll cut down the damage he can do per salvo. And then shooting those guns also damages them, or potentially knocks them out permanently. That'll also reduce the damage they're able to do. And then we're going to be able to out-trade them. That's the theory. So work on targeting those guns, work on angling, really steeply angling, and you should be able to out-trade those ships. Anyway, here, keep an eye on the spotted icon. This is the torpedo section we were talking about earlier. But the spotted icon, sometimes it'll have a 1, sometimes it won't. There's various commander perks. Ingenious is the most common cruiser commander perk that will tell you when you're being targeted by an enemy ship. What does it mean when you're targeted? It means they have basically aimed at your ship and they've selected it. That means there'll be a circle around your icon on their screen that enhances their gunner's accuracy, and it kind of tracks your ship for various calculations. So what Wargaming has left out of that description though is you are being targeted by a ship who also has their main gun selected as the armament that they're using. What does that mean? When a destroyer switches to torpedo mode, that number will drop off. So that's important to keep in mind. Here we lose detection, which means he's either broken line of sight by going around an island, or he's left our blue detection ring and gotten out of our detection range. We fire the guns to expand the blue ring on the map to see if that's the case. It wasn't, so now we know for sure he's around an island. There's a couple different options. We know he was pretty close to us a minute ago, but we look on the map, we see a battleship over here, and we know he's a Udachi, and most Udachis don't really care about winning the game. They only care about torpedoing battleships. So we deduce that he's gone around this island right in front of us here. That's when we drop spot of him, or he'd drop spot of us rather, and he's proceeding the long way to go try and nuke that battleship. So we're using the spotting, or the spotted icon, / our map awareness / our game awareness to figure out what's going on. But once he comes around here, which he is, we did predict correctly, he's in torpedo mode, or we're not being targeted. Either way, now we're being targeted, and he's got the gun selected. Now he doesn't have the gun selected. We can assume we're still probably being targeted. As soon as that number pops up, we know that he probably launched torps. We immediately cut the speed, immediately cut the direction of the ship, and then once the gun icon pops back up, okay, now it's gone again, more torps. You can see there's the first salvo, narrow spread, proper spread, but what that massive dodge did was befuddle him and tick him off, and now we'll see what spread we get next time. But immediately we, he gave us the information, he went back to gun mode, we immediately turned away once again, and now we've kind of closed in on him. I'm not sure why he was really sitting there. Maybe he was yelling at a screen, or he was about to message me saying, "What the heck, you cheater. You must know when the torps are coming." And there's the second salvo, and even though it's a wide spread of torps, which is always a mistake, or almost always a mistake, we still dodge it. We tried to widen out the breadth of the torps because we were such crazy torp dodgers over here. The wide spread had nothing on it. So even though it would have been easier to dodge to begin with, we dodged so early that had no chance at us. And that's what you got to use. You can use this trick. It's ingenious. The American cruiser commanders have their own version of it, and I think at least one destroyer commander has a version of it that will tell you when you're targeted as well. You can always use these commanders on different ships. They're kind of, I've made videos in the past on goofy hybrid builds using cruiser commanders on battleships or whatever. You can play around with it, and putting the ingenious on a battleship would be invaluable. Once again, for some reason he briefly popped up there, but we can use this once again. We can tell exactly when torps are coming. As soon as the number drops off, we know that basically he's left gun mode, or he's left gun mode, he's in torp mode. Torps should be coming. Once again, they're widespread. We dodge them, no problem there, and that's a wrap on that game. So anyway, that's that trick for you guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.